Alright, so there does not appear to be any chunks of silverside left. There's the two little gator snappers hanging out in the corner over here. So let me go ahead and lift up the driftwood, make sure there's no fish parts underneath that I need to get. Nope, I don't see anything. Let's look around down here. Nope, so even though we only saw the one, whoops, that's what I'm doing here. We only saw the one actually take a chunk of silverside off of the tongs. They do scavenge, and so it looks like everything got ate. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do a water change. I'm gonna take about 2.5 gallons, which should be about 50%. So let's see what our angle looks like. First thing I got to do is unplug the auto top off so that it doesn't run constantly while I'm doing the water change. And then I'll put a fresh filter pad in. Got it on this ladder. I don't think I need a step ladder here. Slide you out of the way. I don't know that if I need the gravel siphon on there or not. So we'll just go around a little bit and siphon out some sand. I'm sure this isn't the most exciting thing, so I'll probably speed through this process real quick. Before I speed through it, obviously I don't want the submersible heater to be out of the water, so I won't go any lower than that. And if the pump starts to run dry, I'll stop then too, or until 2.5 gallons, whichever comes first. Always a danger getting a mouthful. Yummy. 2.5 gallons of water out. I'm going to use distilled water to fill it back up. This water, 3 gallons of water, has been sitting back in the lizard room where it's nice and warm, so it's warmer than room temperature. It's probably not the 81 degrees that the aquarium is running at, the enclosure is running at. That's not such a huge temperature difference that it's going to bother the turtles any. So actually it looks like my jug's only about 2 gallons because that's all I had to put back in there to get it to the right water level. And even though that's bottled water, I'm going to go ahead and add some prime just as a conditioner to the water. It's got some other properties other than removing chlorine and chloramines. And it's 2 drops per gallon, so we did 2 gallons, so that'll be 4 drops. 3, 4, 5, 6, a little bit, just, I don't think you can overdose with prime. And then this is 10 drops per gallon. It's biological booster just to help replenish the bacteria for nutrient export. So the internal filter just uses a filter cartridge. Water's passed through it. And so that's about a week's worth, so I'm going to replace these every week. And that goes in the trash bag. And this type of filter also comes with this, just some plastic mesh, and that's for biological filtration. So in addition to that, so water passes through this, it gets filtered through the floss and through the carbon, and the filtered water then will pass through this, and this is where bacteria will colonize. I actually had some Biomax from a small AquaClear. This is also for biological media, and you can never have too much of that, so that'll get colonized by even more bacteria to help keep nitrogenous waste under control. I don't know if it's going to fit or not, I'm just now trying this. Just to show you what I'm talking about, filter pad, here's the mesh that's for biological filter, and there's the Biomax. Put our lid back on, and I'm going to plug so this is a Reef Dynamics level controller, also known as an auto top off, and it just has this float switch right here. It's the ceramic float switch. When the water level drops, it'll go down. Let's turn the pump on, and as the water level rises back up, the float switch will come up and shut it off. It's been just a little aqua lifter pump, and there's the gallon of distilled water that serves as top off. So just a standard 20 long aquarium, sandy bottom, a little bit of gravel. You see it's a little cloudy since I was goofing around with a little piece of driftwood in there to help maintain neutral to slightly acidic water. That's what John with Loggerhead Acres Turtle Farm recommends. The pothos is just some additional nutrient export. Like any plant, nitrogen is a fertilizer, so I'm hoping as the pothos grows, it's removing ammonia and nitrites and helping to keep the nitrates at a good level. Just like any aquarium that you're setting up, you don't want ammonia, you don't want nitrite, and you want your nitrates to be at a manageable level, because at high levels, nitrate can be toxic. All this root growth has just been in the last couple of weeks. The key is you want your leaves out of the water, so they're going to grow up and out of the water. That's one of the reasons why I also use full spectrum lighting that's UVB. It's not, opinions vary as to whether or not it's necessary, but it can't help the animals. You know, in the wild, they're going to be in shallow water. They're going to get some benefit from the sun, even though they are primarily a nocturnal animal. And then the other fixture is a ceramic heat emitter, and there is no bottom, so nothing's touching this plastic crate. No fire hazards. But it's a 100-watt heater. I have it set at 82, and so if this thermometer is accurate, it stays right above 80, 81. And Let's check. See how these little guys are doing. Completely awesome little dinosaurs. Still working on sealing up their little belly buttons there from where their yolk was. Let's check on this little guy. I'm not doing a lot of handling with them. This is probably only the second time I've handled either one of them. But for the purposes of this video, so this little guy, and of course he still has his. As they get bigger, maybe they'll have some easier to tell apart external characteristics, so that when I can name them. But they are doing awesome. So come along with me on this journey as I raise up these two baby alligator snapping turtles, these living dinosaurs that are completely awesome. I can't wait for them to get a little bit of size to them. Well, I can, because obviously this aquarium's not going to last long, and I have the space considerations, where I'm going to house them, how I'm going to make it look. But that's all part of the fun of being a herp keeper, is building enclosures to give your animals the best life possible. Diet, so you saw me feed them the silver sides that I thawed out. There's also feeder guppies in here. There's some mollies in here. When I can start to get them to do prepared foods, I have Missouri aquatic turtle chow. I'll try to give them pieces of shrimp, things like that, just to keep them fat and happy. GoPro just shut off on me for some reason. What I was saying is, I'm looking forward to raising these guys up and letting you guys come along on that journey. These two guys came from John at Loggerhead Acres Turtle Farm, www.turtleman.com. I'll leave a link down in the description. He farm raises them. He's got bodies of water on his property with adults. He's got awesome stuff on Instagram, awesome stuff on Facebook. And if you have the time and eventually the space, he's the go-to guy if you want a baby alligator snapping turtle. But until next time, take care.